There's something important to understand about PTSD. Almost everyone knows what it is: flashbacks, nightmares, hypervigilance, a nervous system that never got the message that the danger is over. But here's what far fewer people know: many, perhaps most, of the people struggling with PTSD for years without fully healing aren't dealing with PTSD alone. Underneath it, often undiagnosed and unnamed, is something broader, something deeper. It's called complex trauma. And understanding the difference could change everything. For many people, particularly those whose trauma began in childhood and didn't happen once, but again and again, PTSD captures part of the picture. Not all of it. Dr. Judith Herman and Dr. Bessel van der Kolk identified something beyond PTSD decades ago. They called it complex trauma. What makes it complex is not just what happened. It's when it happened, how long it lasted, and what it did to the child. Because alongside the flashbacks, the avoidance, and the hypervigilance, complex trauma adds three more layers. Layers that standard PTSD treatment was never fully designed to reach. The first is emotional dysregulation, emotions that arrive without warning, that overwhelm without mercy. A nervous system that was never taught how to settle, because the people who were supposed to teach it were the source of the danger, or simply weren't there. The second is a damaged sense of self. Deep, persistent shame. A quiet but unshakable feeling that something is fundamentally wrong with you. Not what happened to you, but you. Research shows that shame is the single strongest predictor of this kind of wound. The third is relational difficulty. Chronic struggles with trust, with connection, with feeling safe with other people. Not because you don't want closeness, but because closeness was where the hurt came from, or where the emptiness lived. When complex trauma is underneath, and it was never named, healing takes longer, much longer. And certain things may never shift at all, not because the work isn't real, but because the treatment was designed for one condition, and the person doing the work was living with something broader, deeper, more layered. The shame was never addressed. The self was never reached. The relational wounds were never named. That is not a personal failure. That is a missing diagnosis. Complex trauma also does something that single incident PTSD rarely does to the same degree. It fragments. Under prolonged and repeated threat, whether that threat was physical or psychological, or simply the absence of a parent who was present enough, the mind divides itself into parts, each carrying a different piece of what was too much to hold all at once. If that experience of inner division resonates with you, we've explored it in depth in other videos on this channel. It may be one of the most important pieces of your own picture. If you have been trying, really trying, and something has always felt just out of reach, you were not wrong. The piece that was missing may simply have never had a name in the room with you. Complex trauma is not a life sentence. It is a more complete map. And with the right map, healing becomes possible in ways it couldn't before. If this opened something for you, a like helps this reach others who are quietly carrying the same question. And if you'd like to keep walking this path together, you're warmly invited to subscribe. Until next time, be kind to every part of you. The way out is within.